Hey, into the hey, my illustrious Paswa snappers. Oh, yeah. They snap all over the universe. They snap in your honor. Today is your slice of Yogatry. Today, we'll be talking about the future. Not just the future, but what happens next? What happens tomorrow? What happens in the next minute or two? We have no control over those things. Sometimes it may seem like we do. Sometimes it also may seem as if we have completely no control at all. And that is what we're going to be talking about today, okay? And therefore I wrote you something. What happens next? A sincere question pressing. Relentless and endless. The effort is in vain. Forgotten as pain. There isn't always a definitive quote, a lifestyle change that opens your eyes we find ourselves trying to define. Time runs away, not focused on where right now is. The reason we live, every answer takes a little bit out of you, just in time for your next moment to arise. Now, if you guys get inspired, if you feel the fire from within, write something about the future, something you want to attain, something you wish for, what you think might happen or may happen. Write anything that inspires you. Just don't write about right now. I guess technically we're always writing about the future, right? Love you guys so much.
Growing up, I was what most people would call a geek. You know, the straight-A students who'd stress out over their grades and dedicate most of their time to study. Yep, that was me. From a young age, it was instilled into our brains that if we want to make something of ourselves, then we need to go to university. I mean, it was practically a necessity. Why? Because it would increase your job prospects and ensure financial stability. And when you're 16, that's the ultimate goal, really. I remember applying for college, and the question that was often asked was, Taz, what do you want to be? I had no idea. I wasn't thinking about my future. I barely remembered the day of the week, and I definitely did not deal well with responsibility. The truth is, I never knew the answer to that question. I based my choices down to my GCSEs. I did well at law, so I figured, hey, a lawyer it shall be. Studied hard, 2 years passed, and I finally started university. Uni was anything but easy. Reading lists were ever growing, stress was an all-time peak. Read, eat, sleep, repeat, cram for the exam you have next week. It was crazy. I'd love to tell you stories about how I was having the time of my life and going to crazy parties, but I can't really. The truth is, I spent most nights exhausted reading case law at a 24-hour library. I was living the dream. 3 years later, and I finally got myself a bachelor's degree. And that's when it hit me. I came to the realization that this isn't who I want to be. After graduation came the stress. Filling in one job application after the other, dreading the impending student loan debts. I was a mess. Struggling to get by with only one question on my mind. What's next? The next few months were hard. Fill out an application form, get rejected, and then inevitably fall apart. Build myself back up and restart. Felt like I had an empty future ahead of me, and I wasn't getting very far. Stop. Reassess. The anxiety hits me all over again. Back to the drawing board, I guess. Overwhelmed by the stress, I confess. I don't know what's next. And we're back to the first step. Looking back now, hitting rock bottom was the best thing that could have happened to me. It took feeling like an absolute failure to finally set me free. I had a fresh start, a chance to rebuild myself, be whoever I wanted to be. Because what's there to lose when you have nothing? But what's there to gain? Everything. I started writing, creating films, performed spoken word poetry, discussed important topics and talked about things that mattered to me. I made people stop, think, feel. For the first time in my life, I was doing something that felt real. No more pressure to compete. I simply worked hard doing what I love, and I told myself that whatever will be, will be. I grew an online audience, connected with people worldwide, and for the first time in my life, I saw things so clearly. No longer adhering to social constructs, I'm choosing my own path, and I've never felt more free. I want to feel, like really feel, travel the world and connect with people. I want to help, make an impact, tell incredible stories, conquer all my darkest fears, and live limitlessly. No more running away anymore. I want to delve into the unknown, take risks and chances. Because as cliche as it sounds, we really only do live once. And I don't plan on taking that for granted. So ask me again what's next. And I'll say the answer is easy. What's next is continuing to work hard doing what I love, and an infinite amount of opportunity.
Dear future generations, I think I speak for the rest of us when I say, sorry. Sorry we left you with our mess of a planet. Sorry that we were too caught up in our own doings to do something. Sorry we listened to people who made excuses to do nothing. I hope you forgive us. We just didn't realize how special the earth was. Like a marriage gone wrong, we didn't know what we had until it was gone. For example, I'm guessing you probably know it as the Amazon desert, right? Well, believe it or not, it was once called the Amazon rainforest, and there were billions of trees there, all of them gorgeous, and... Oh, you don't know much about trees, do you? Well, let me tell you, trees are amazing. I mean, we literally breathe the air they are creating. They clean up our pollution, our carbon. They store and purify water, give us medicine that cures our diseases, food that feeds us, which is why I'm so sorry to tell you that we burn them down. Cut them down with brutal machines, horrific, at a rate of 40 football fields every minute. That's 50% of all the trees in the world gone in the last 100 years. Why? For this. And that wouldn't make me so sad if it weren't so many pictures of leaves on it. You know, when I was a child, I read how the Native Americans had such consideration for the planet that they felt responsible for how they left the land for the next 7 generations. Which brings me great sorrow, because most of us today don't even care about tomorrow. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we put profit above people, greed above need, the rule of gold above the golden rule. I'm sorry we use nature as a credit card with no spending limit, overdrafting animals to extinction, stealing your chance to ever see their uniqueness or become friends with them. Sorry we poison the ocean so much that you can't even swim in them. But most of all, I'm sorry about our mindset, 'cause we had the nerve to call this destruction progress. Hey Fox News, if you don't think climate change is a threat, I dare you to interview the thousands of homeless people in Bangladesh. See, while you were in your penthouse nestled, their homes were literally washed away beneath their feet due to rising sea levels. And Sarah Palin, you said that you love the smell of fossil fuels. Well, I urge you to talk to the kids of Beijing who are forced to wear pollution masks just to go to school. See, you can ignore this, but the thing about truth is, it can be denied, not avoided. So I'm sorry, future generations. I'm sorry that our footprint became a sinkhole and not a garden. I'm sorry that we paid so much attention to ISIS and very little to how fast the ice is melting in the Arctic. I'm sorry we doomed you, and I'm sorry we couldn't find another planet in time to move to. You know what? Cut the beat. I'm not sorry. This future, I do not accept it. Because an error does not become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We can redirect this. How? Let me suggest that if a farmer sees a tree that is unhealthy, they don't look at the branches to diagnose it, they look at the root. So like that farmer, we must look at the root and not to the branches of government, not to the politicians run by corporations. We are the root, we are the foundation. This generation, it is up to us to take care of this planet. It is our only home. We must globally warm our hearts and change the climate of our souls and realize that we are not apart from nature, we are a part of nature. And to betray nature is to betray us. To save nature is to save us. Because whatever you're fighting for, racism or poverty, feminism, gay rights, or any type of equality, it won't matter in the least. Because if we don't all work together to save the environment, we will be equally extinct. Sorry.
Hey guys, for the past several weeks, I've been here in Africa, the heart of Africa, witnessing the horrific destruction of the rainforest, which inspired me to write this piece. Why are forests being destroyed at such an enormous rate? For this. Today we live in a world where destroying trees makes you money. So what can we, normal people, do about it? One way to directly fight the destruction is to stand for trees. By standing for trees, not only can you save the lives of trees, help forest communities, and protect the rights of animals to live in their homes, but you will also balance the amount of pollution that you yourself give off with your everyday activities, making you a part of the solution and not the problem. This is the option that I chose. But whatever way that you choose to stand for trees, do it. Because a wise man once said, when the rivers are all dried up and the trees cut down, man will then realize that he will not be able to eat money.
There's nothing I can do to keep tomorrow from coming around, just like you can't keep life from blooming out of the ground. And I know in the future I'll fall, but I won't stay down. Where we are going, I'll find answers and questions. I'll discover hope and heartbreak. I'll see beyond my wildest imagination, and I'll find love has been waiting for us there the entire time. We are always almost there. Another day, another step, another prayer, another breath. We are almost there.
The worst thing about being naked and then being hit by a car is that road rash is a problem for skin. Why was I naked in the middle of the road at noon? I'm glad you asked, imaginary other half of this conversation. I have no idea. Some characteristics of bipolar disorder include dissociation, hallucinations, and fugue states, so sometimes I wake up in places I didn't go to sleep. So, there I am, nude, splayed out on a car like a slutty chicken, screaming about the government conspiracy to take away my feet. Not my real feet, just my brain feet. I'm about 6 inches away from the concrete when I realize, in slow motion, like the exact opposite of a rhinoceros attack, this was not how I imagined my life would turn out. When I was little, I broke both my ankles jumping off a roof because I was sure a cape would enable me to fly. My parents attributed this to my strong imagination. Last year, my therapist called it a delusion. I failed to see the difference. Also, I really can fly and see the future and make stupid people leave coffee shops with my mind. 43% of the time. Sometimes I see people as colors. This guy right here is purple, which means he just got a promotion. Or a blowjob. A blow motion, if you will. The point is, here's a list of things that my brain has told me to do. Join a cult, start a cult, become a cabinet maker, kill myself, so in essence, become a cabinet maker, break into and then paint other people's houses, have sex with literally everyone who reminds me of my mother, fight people who are much fightier than me, like the cops. So, in essence, kill myself. I think a lot about killing myself, not like a point on a map, but rather like a glowing exit sign to show that's never been quite bad enough to make me want to leave. See, when I'm up, I don't kill myself because holy shit, there is so much left to do. And when I'm down, I don't kill myself because then the sadness would be over. And the sadness is my old paint under the new. The sadness is the house fire or the broken shoulder. I'd still be me without it, but I'd be so boring. They keep telling me that seeing things that aren't technically there is called disturbed cognitive functioning. I call it having a superpower. Once, I pulled over on the 110 freeway and jumped out of my old Jeep because I saw it burst into flames 20 seconds before it actually burst into flames. I knew my girlfriend and I would be together because she turned bright pink the first time she saw me. I know tomorrow is going to come because I've seen it. Sunrise is going to come. All you have to do is wake up. The future has been at war, but it's coming home so soon. The future looks like a child in a cape. The future is the map and the treasure. The future looks just like gravity. Everyone is slowly drifting toward everyone else. We are all going to be part of each other one day. The future is a blue sky and a full tank of gas. I saw the future. I did. And in it, I was alive.
Kneel